I'm wanted by the IRS for tax evasion. Fence number 2.
No! No!
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed.
I can't do this anymore. It's time to start investing.
Drew cannot do it anymore. After going bankrupt in the construction industry, Estes Incorporated will now be switching gears to a more investment-focused endeavor. Today, Drew and a team of his experts compare 2 different companies, Amazon and FedEx. Drew uses 3 different categories to compare these companies. These categories are liquidity, solvency, and profitability.
Here's the liquidity room. This is where we assess companies' abilities to turn assets into cash. Let's head in. Who are you? Why is it wet in here?
I'm Captain Liquid, and I'm here to tell you about FedEx and Amazon's liquidity ratios.
Well, that's convenient.
Liquidity represents a company's ability to convert assets into cash. The ratios we use for this section include the current ratio and day sales outstanding. The current ratio is a proportion of current assets to current liabilities. Current accounts are used in this ratio because they exclude long-term accounts that cannot be converted easily into cash. The higher the number, the better off a company is to pay off short-term liabilities. For FedEx, the numbers have steadily decreased from 1.58 in 2020 to 1.43 in 2022. Amazon, on the other hand, has a much higher ratio of 2.98 in 2022. Days sales outstanding ratio shows on average how many days it takes a company to receive a payment. As a business, you want this number to be as low as possible because if you're getting paid quickly, you can use that money. FedEx's numbers stayed around 50 days, whereas Amazon averaged about 26.5 throughout the last 3 years.
Wow, well, it seems like in terms of liquidity, Amazon performs much better than FedEx. Thanks, Captain Liquid.
Listen here, bud. You might want to go check out the solvency room.
Solvency. Oh, solvency room. Let's go in.
The possession of assets in excess of liabilities. The ability to pay one's debt. Does that make sense, class?
Ooh. I have a question. Which one of these companies has better solvency?
Solvency is a company's ability to pay off long-term debt. For this section, we use debt-to-equity ratio and the equity ratio. The debt-to-equity ratio is found by dividing total debt by shareholders' equity. The ratio shows how much of their debt is fueled by investments rather than assets. You want a lower number for this ratio because it means less of your debt is funded by investors. Take a look at FedEx's and Amazon's ratios. FedEx has decreased its ratio from 1.82 in 2020 to 1.64 in 2022. Amazon's ratios are all lower than FedEx's, with a high of 1.35 in 2020 and a low of 1.06 in 2022. The equity ratio is found by dividing total equity by total assets. Companies that have above 0.5 are considered conservative because they have more equity than debt, and companies that have less than 0.5 have leveraged their equity into the investments. Both companies are leveraged, with FedEx averaging about 0.27 and Amazon averaging about 31 in the last 3 years.
You're weird, but thank you.
Mr. Drew, is that you?
Is that my banker? Mr. Cameron, how are you, man?
Well, Drew, ever since your little run-in with the IRS, the family's been a little less healthy, and I've been a little less wealthy.
Aw, I'm really sorry to hear about that, man.
Hey, that's all right, man. What can I help you with today?
Well, I was just wondering if you had any handy ratios to help me determine which one of these 2 companies is more profitable.
Well, Drew, it's your lucky day. Profitability refers to the degree to which a company yields financial gain. The ratio we used to measure the profitability of Amazon and FedEx was return on assets. This is obtained by dividing a company's net income by their total assets. This indicator helps you determine how your company generates its earnings. As a general rule, a higher return on assets ratio is considered better. A ratio below 5% is considered low, and a ratio above 20% is considered excellent. Now, in the last 3 years, FedEx ratio has gone from 1% in 2020 to 6% in 2021 and 4% in 2022. Amazon has gone from 7% in 2020 to 8% in 2021 and actually went to negative 1% in 2022. So while Amazon tends to yield higher numbers for this ratio, it could be concerning because a negative number in the most recent years mean they turned a net loss.
Oh no, we need to make this investment quick or else we won't be able to pay the energy bill this month. Thanks, Mr. Cameron.
Anytime, Mr. Drew. Remember, follow the ratios. I believe in you.
Jeff Bezos.
I can feel the ratios leading me.
Pick me, Drew. Pick me. No, pick me. I'm the better investment.
I choose Amazon. After this deep dive into the statistics, we determined that Amazon appears to be the better investment to make for Estes Incorporated. They yielded more favorable ratios in each of the 3 categories that we explored along the way. However, there is one concern for Amazon, as they yielded a net loss in the last year. This leads us to believe that FedEx could be a slightly safer investment to make because of the volatility that we've seen with Amazon. All this considered, we still believe that Amazon is a better investment for Estes Incorporated to make. They have shown over the years that we cannot expect to see losses like in this previous year in the future. Despite this, we also think that neither company is a bad investment. Both do various things well and also have things that they could improve on. Thanks to the input from our experts, it looks like Estes Incorporated is on the upward trend.